What's going on, geeks? You're listening to episode 302 of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. My name's Cody Armour, and I'm here with Lj.Lowery.
What up?
Shelley is still moving into her new place. She will be here next week. I will not be here next week. Family emergency thing popped up.
Yeah.
Prayers appreciated. It'd be great. But yeah, it's the two of us rocking out today's show this week. We're geeking out about Half-Life mods, Harry Potter, and other news that'll make you think it's 2005. But it's not, I promise.
Yeah.
Feels very 2005. Half-Life mods. I love that it's still a thing.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy and amazing.
Yeah.
But before we do that, we'll get into video games, what we've been playing. I honestly don't think I've been playing anything new. Yeah, it's just been Apex. My usual.
Cool.
So, go ahead, LJ.
That's okay. So, I've gotten back into No Man's Sky, which has been a lot of fun. My buddy was getting back into it with the newest update, which it's called Outlaws, and basically you can do, like, they improved the pirate, like, space pirate combat, like, where you can, it's got, like, a lock-on and everything. You can actually, there's, like, missions involved with it, but you can also recruit squad mates now. Like, you can hire, like, you can summon squad mates to help you in, like, dogfights and stuff now, which it feels very Star Fox to me. It's like, oh yeah, you can call on your buddies and
that's
to
cool.
help you take out some enemies and stuff.
And these are like NPC?
Yeah. So, like,
that's
if
cool.
you see, like, somebody, like, if you're in the space station and you see somebody with a ship, and one of the options now, along with, like, trading with them and offering a price on their ship, you can actually recruit them, which is neat. And then, yeah, there's so much to that game. Like, the PS5 version is beautiful and runs amazing, and I'm just like, wow, like, I forgot how good this game has gotten.
Yeah. I'll have to re-download it. I don't have it on my PS5 yet, but I have it on the PS4.
Yeah, there's a free PS5 upgrade you should be able to download.
That's awesome. The hardest thing for me with No Man's Sky was they had this huge update long time ago now that came out, and I was so excited for it that I started playing it before the update came out.
Yeah.
And I was getting all these resources, and then they like
changed
and then it
wiped
the resource names.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I can't remember if it wiped the entire story. I think I had resources, and they renamed and got rid of a bunch of them. So, like, I had whatever, I can't remember what fueled your ship at first, but it's different now. And so I had a ton of it mined away, and then it just, like, completely was out of my inventory.
Wow. Yeah.
And I was like, I just did so much work for nothing.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is that game does take some work to do certain things. Like, you can have pets now, and you can ride on pets. I found this, like, space-looking, weird, like, llama thing that it just has, like, a long neck and, like, a tongue coming out of, like, the top of it. Like, and I named it Tina after the llama from Napoleon Dynamite. And then, what did I call it? And you know how you can, like, name stuff? So when I discovered the species, I called it Alheca instead of alpaca. Because it just looked like an alpaca from hell. Like, so...
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's one really cool thing about that game is, like, especially now, you can make it as big as you want, or you can make it as small as you want. You can have a little base and make a little, like, basically a little farm.
Yeah. You can spend time doing whatever you want in that game. And
or go, galaxies away.
Or go explore. Yeah. So that's been exciting. It's been good to be back to that game. But yeah, it's good. I made, like, a Spotify playlist for it with some, like, Mass Effect and Star Trek and some other lo-fi tunes, just to jam to while I play. It's become a thing lately where, like, I've been making playlists for some games. So
I started doing that too. I did that actually for Apex.
Nice.
I turned the music off, and then I've got, like, I think I was watching one of their trailers, and the trailer had this really cool music, and so I was like, yeah, I want more upbeat, kind of like rockish sounding.
Yeah.
I got some kind of like rockabilly things going on.
Oh, cool.
While I'm playing. It feels very... I feel like I'm playing in a trailer. It's really nice.
Yeah, like, it changes the tone of it. I mean, there's people that are, like, die hard, like, ooh, I gotta hear their footsteps. But it's like, no. Like, I did the same thing for Overwatch. I had a gaming playlist that... I have a gaming playlist that I would use on, like, Overwatch and Rocket League and stuff like that. And just like, no, I'm having fun playing casually. Like, that's all I need to do,
Yeah.
But it changes the tone. Nice.
From... what was that? Bioshock Infinite is the one in the sky. Beast Burger, and then kind of on the other side of things, I did. Some people know what this is. It's old. Kill Everybody from Skrillex.
Oh yeah.
It's like a dubstep song.
Nice.
And it plays really well in a Dorita shooter.
Oh yeah. And see, and that's what I love about creating playlists like that. It changes the tone of what you're playing, kind of, and like it can just change the feel of it sometimes. Mm-hmm. And so that's what made me like really do that. Like I had one for like Sifu, and then I had one for Elden Ring and stuff. Like so,
yeah, definitely.
It's just something I do that just kind of helps get me.
I started doing it with Skyrim was my first game. I was like, this music's getting old. And so I just started getting just Hailung and all these other Viking chant musics going, and I was like, this feels a lot more fun.
Yeah, so that's the thing I've been doing. The other thing, actually, I got a copy of this, actually on Friday. The embargo will be up when this episode goes live, so I can talk about it now. I'm playing the port of Star Wars Force Unleashed on Switch.
Ooh.
And it's weird because it is the Wii version of the game, but actually like it's not like you have to play like with weird motion controls. It has the regular controls with it, which I've never played the Wii version, but I assume that one probably still lets you use like a controller of some sort. But I haven't tried the motion controls yet, actually. Maybe I should see how those are. But this was one of those games where it had like 4 or 5 different versions that came out with like 360 and PS3. There was a PSP one, which I had and I loved almost more than the other versions because it had like all this other content. You could play, like, you could do duels, and then it has all these other modes. But this one, it kind of has some of the content I remember from the PSP stuff, and some of that content showed up in like the Sith edition for the other platforms. But so it feels kind of like a half version, and I think it compares to like the PS2 version, but it's pretty solid. Like, it seems like they have done some like graphical updates and improved some things. But it's still really fun. Like, it's basically like, if I could describe Force Unleashed for those who haven't played it, it's almost like they looked at, like, they're like, oh, let's make a Star Wars game, but let's make it like God of War, like OP, like Dragon Ball Z, or just like cool. Like if you were a superhero in the Star Wars world, basically, almost kind of like Shadow of War. You play as Darth Vader's secret apprentice, and so this stuff is not canon anymore. Yeah. So basically, like, you hunt like Jedi and stuff, almost kind of like what the Inquisitors are now in a way. Mm-hmm. But also, like, Vader has this secret plot to like overthrow Palpatine in this game and stuff too. But
that's cool.
So there's a lot more to it. Like, you play as Vader in the tutorial level. Okay. When you discover the apprentice.
I think this, like, Sith law, Vader has to overthrow Palpatine.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's how the Sith work. That's why there are only 2.
Yeah.
And then the apprentice is always supposed to overtake the other because they're all evil. So
right.
Like, it's inevitable kind of thing.
Yeah, probably.
And then this dude would overthrow Vader someday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's fun. Apparently, so I haven't gotten to try it. I was hoping I could play against the computer, but there is a dual mode where you can give a second player a controller, and it's like a versus mode. Okay. But it's fun. Like, I actually almost like these. I almost like the PSP and these other versions more because the PS3 and 360 version had that gimmicky, like, Euphoria engine stuff they had at the time, where it's like, oh, like, you know, use the Force to bend this thing, or like, hey, we got these cool physics, so you can break a window in a space station and it'll suck everything out to space, you know, which some of that was cool, but they used it very gimmickily a lot. So I say I can make comparisons to God of War because it basically feels like when you're doing boss fights, there's these quick time events, and you have upgrades kind of like you do God of War. Like, you can improve your force powers and do all this really cool stuff. It's fun. I think it's a really fun, and it's a fun, like, action game. Like, and it's cool to play through it again because it's bringing back memories of when I had this game on my PSP, and I'm like, oh, now I got it on my Switch. But also the Sith edition, like, it's not the Sith edition, which was on the older consoles, or the bigger brothers, I guess. So like the Sith edition had some sequences from like an alternate ending, in which, so I guess this is spoilery, but you can go full on Sith if you want, and it has like almost these what if missions, like what if you hunted down Luke Skywalker on Hoth and stuff like that. Like it had a lot of this cool extra content and some of these in between bonus missions, which but it's still really solid. It's not like the definitive version of Force Unleashed that I would want to see on the Switch, but it's serviceable and I still have a lot of fun with it. So
cool.
It's only $20.
I never played the game, so
yeah, and that's the thing is there's not a lot of ways to play it. I think if you own an Xbox, I think there's a version of it on there, which I suppose people could get it there if you have an Xbox, but for people that want it on Switch, like I think it's perfectly serviceable and perfectly fine for $20. Like it's a budget price, and you're getting sort of I don't want to say a budget experience because it's still a really fun game. So for the price, I think you're getting a lot of bang for your buck, and it's an enjoyable story still too. So
cool. We'll get into the gaming news then. Go ahead.
Yeah. So in one of the weirdest news pieces I think I've seen. The voice actress for Crystal in Star Fox Adventures is returning for a mod that's a Half-Life 2 mod. And it's kind of weird because it's not just like a skin. She takes over, the skin takes over for Alex, which is what the new Half-Life Alyx VR game was based on. Mm-hmm. But they're actually doing like re-recorded voice lines.
It's such a strange thing to do.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's like over the top. And apparently like the developer of this mod has been working with the voice actress, and I guess it's supposed to be out in September. But it's like, I guess it's cool for people that are like really into Star Fox Adventures.
Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, it's neat. And
all 30 of them.
Yeah. So, Star Fox Adventures is, I don't know if it's just looked down upon or just like looked at kind of funny because it's not like an actual like Star Fox game. It's more of a Zelda clone.
It was like people that didn't like Star Fox or that liked Star Fox.
Yeah.
Didn't like it because it wasn't a Star Fox game.
Yeah.
And then it didn't do well with anyone else because it was a Star Fox game.
Yeah.
It kind of had a weird gray area. Like, I always wanted to play it, and I just never got a chance to. It looks like a lot of fun.
It is.
But
like, if
you're wanting a Star Fox game, that's definitely not what it is.
Yeah. It's actually... So, apparently, it's the idea came up because there was supposed to be a game on Nintendo 64 called Dinosaur Planet. And because it's got a lot of, like, anthropomorphic dinosaurs and stuff. And so, apparently... I don't know if it's Miyamoto or somebody at Nintendo was like, well, like we need something that's going to bring people in. And so that thing ended up being Star Fox. So they basically put added Star Fox into this game that was initially meant to be called Dinosaur Planet. But I liked it. I thought it was perfectly fine, and I liked it because of the Zelda-ness. It was
that
different.
Sounds awesome to me. It was something I just thought would be cool, and I just never got around to it.
It was different, but I liked it. Yeah, I think that's a interesting way to celebrate the anniversary because I guess in September, I think it's going to be like 19 years since the game came out or something. Mm-hmm. Which also makes me feel old. Kind of.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, for people that are fans of both Star Fox Adventures and Half-Life 2, there's that mod coming out. So
one of the most in-depth mods.
It's so extra.
Think of. Yeah.
An in-depth like skin. Actor. Yeah, it's cool. It's strange, yeah. Into some more interesting news. There's been a lot of things going on with WB and Discovery. A lot of talk about like movie stuff and where they want the movie stuff to go. But the word is that they also want to bolster the output for DC video games. Cool. Which is in this whole conversation with the new CEO. I don't know if it's CEO, but just the person that's running WB Warner Brothers Discovery.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
we were going to put this in the news everywhere, but it's such a broad, like, this was like the one thing that seems to be kind of like a for sure. Everything else seems mostly like speculation and rumor, and there's nothing concrete yet. I'm really excited about this merger though, because it sounds like the CEO is wanting to do a lot of fixing, and they want a lot of focus on DC and so if done right in the video games and everywhere else, could be an exciting era for DC fans.
Yeah, because right now we have Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. We got Gotham Knights, and then what was the third one? There's the Wonder Woman game that doesn't even have a release date or anything yet. And then apparently Wolf Among Us 2 is tied to that somehow, probably because the comic IP is technically DC. I don't know if it's I think it might technically be DC. So they definitely added Wolf Among Us in that. So
we're gonna look out for another Injustice game.
Ooh, I would love that.
I would bet.
Yeah. I've been waiting for another Injustice game since 2, so
I'm fully expecting, and I don't know now because WB won't be this chaotic, I don't think, going forward. But when Mortal Kombat came out, the movie, I was like, we're gonna get a Mortal Kombat versus DC like movie. I still want it. I don't know if it'll happen or not, but I just have this hunch. It'll be the wait. I figured we'd have to wait for Flashpoint to mess everything up.
Yeah.
And then they would just make a weird movie, and it would be like all of the favorite DC things. They wouldn't be like Ben Affleck's Batman. They would just be like, we like Robert Pattinson's Batman. That'll be him. Aquaman will be Jason Momoa's Aquaman. And they would just throw it in, and none of it would make sense, and it would be wonderful. Oh my gosh,
it would be, because so that's how that game came to be initially, because they have that Mortal Kombat versus DC video game, and me being a Mortal Kombat fan, I was like, this looks so stupid. Like I can't believe this is a thing. And when I played it, I'm like, oh, this is actually really good. And I was like, you know what, it works. And so ever since they started the new engine with Mortal Kombat 9 and Injustice, I'm like, I want another Mortal Kombat versus DC. Like, I want a sequel. It's time for one.
That would be awesome.
I'd love to see that. So who knows what that means by their desires. I think we'll just have to see. But that Wonder Woman game sounds
more
really
mobile
cool.
games. I'm just kidding.
See, that's what scares me.
Yeah.
But hopefully they're thinking bigger than that. Because there's plenty of...
You've heard of Candy Crush.
Yeah. I hope
Let's make a DC version.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so...
It's Magikarp Jump, but the Magikarp is green and it's supposed to be Beast Boy.
You'd play that, though. You'd be like, yep.
I would 100%.
Yeah, that's why you say that. You're like, I would totally play it.
Forget Apex.
Yeah.
What are you playing? Beast Boy jumps again.
Yeah. Yeah. So who knows? I'm looking forward to what that could mean, though. Cool. I do want more DC video games, though. And that's it definitely. For gaming news.
Cool. We'll get into movies then. I did not see a new movie. I almost did. We literally started. Is it Murder on the Nile? Mystery on the Nile?
Death on the Nile? Yeah.
Yeah. And then I fell asleep. Not because the movie was boring. I was just really tired.
Also, apparently that's a direct sequel to Murder on the Orient Express.
Yes. I'm really excited for it.
Which I have not seen that first one either, so I think...
definitely do that. It's so good.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was a direct sequel, so now I have to see that first movie, which I wanted to for a long time, but...
We turned it on. It's on HBO. It's on HBO Max. It's on Hulu.
Yeah.
But I was like already really tired, and then it was this like black and white sequences. What it starts off with. And
you're like, nope.
I was like, I can't do this right now. So soon. Instead, I watched Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Which is so. I've got these friends, and their daughter. We were all bowling, and she said that me and my wife remind her of the characters Flint and Sam from Cloudy with the Chase of Meatballs, and I was like, oh, cool, let's go see this comparison.
And I've never seen the movie myself, so I wish I could have. I wish I knew what they were talking about.
Yeah, you'll have to watch it. Just it's on Netflix. It's an hour and a half.
Yeah, I mean, I will because people like those movies.
Yeah, I'm offended. No, I'm not really offended, but Sam is cool, and that was really what she was talking about. Was my wife, anyways. Flint, he is the main character, so that I'm just like him, and he's crazy. He's like real wonky, can't do anything right, but he's really smart.
Okay.
Yeah, like
so that's why you're like, I might be offended.
Yeah. The movie starts off with, it's like he makes all these inventions, and the inventions just like it's like a genie. Like they just find a way to go poorly. Like the very first thing he makes in the movie is spray-on shoes. Okay. But the spray-on shoes don't come off.
Oh.
It's like everything has a side effect kind of thing.
Wow. Yeah.
But it's a fun movie. It's got kind of a cool, like it's definitely this like kids thing where it's like he gets to feel important for once, and then they realize that it's not just about the accolades. So it's cool. It's the humor is like looking into the internet. I think the movie came out in 2009.
Wow.
But it's very like weird. Like you're just like, what am I like? The scene, I brought this up before the podcast, but I'll say it on here too. So you can be prepared for it when you watch it. This kid, like it's all about food, so this kid throws up. And his dad comes up and like kisses him because he's like alive. It's a whole thing. And like that's gross enough. But then like the dad turns to the camera and you can see the vomit on his face. Yeah. And it's done as a joke, but I was like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
It's so weird. But it's fun.
I made the joke that feels like such a Shelley pick for like an older, because Shelley has those older movies that she'll be like, hey, I watched this older movie, so it's like
no one's talked about for 10 years.
I'm curious to know, like, because that was past. I mean, like, not that I wouldn't watch a movie like that, but that just didn't seem like a movie I was ever interested in watching. So like, I'm curious. I'm like, that's a movie she's probably watched, or she probably has some kind of nostalgia for.
One thing I'm really enjoying, this is kind of a tangent, I'm starting to realize just how much better animation has gotten, animation quality. I kind of noticed it with this one, you just kind of see it in the background of things. The polygons are just kind of, they're very not detailed. Right. And then the other thing that I saw was, it was Ice Age, and it was that rat, I can't remember his name, Scrat. It was him and his nut throughout the years. It was on IGN, I think.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the first video, the first clip that they show, looks almost like a PS2 game.
The original?
Like yeah, super polygonal and rough edges, and there's a little detail there, but especially like in the background of it all is just like it's crazy how technology has changed, and like at least CGI or computer animated stuff.
I saw a news story that Scrat gets his nut finally.
Yeah. Oh, that was at the end of the IGN thing. Maybe that's what it was. At the end of that video, he's eating it, and I was like, "Oh." But it's even from that first movie to the second movie. Just I'm sure the budget went up too. It's cool to see just how far computer animation specifically has gotten. But yeah, apparently there's Cloudy with the Meatballs too. I will see it at some point. I was told that's the better one.
Okay.
We'll see if it does me any more compliments.
That's funny.
Yeah. Definitely worth watching though if you haven't seen it. Like I said, an hour and a half of your time. It's on Netflix. If you're bored and want to watch something stupid.
Cool.
Go ahead and watch it. What have you been watching, LJ? Something a little more relevant, I hope.
Yes. So I had to see this movie because critics have been raving about it. Not just critics, but a lot of people. So the movie is called Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Okay. That's
quite a title. Gosh, I don't even know where to go or what to say.
It's about a multiverse, right?
Yes. And so I can't explain some of that, but it might be one of the best movies. Probably it's going to be one of the best movies of the year, but also it's one of the weirdest things I think I may have ever watched. It is so weird. So it's
weird movies.
Yeah, so it's an Asian directed movie. It's got Asian actors and stuff.
Mhm.
The guy who played in Indiana Jones and the Goonies back in the day, he returned to acting after many years for
Okay,
this
cool.
movie. But yeah, so it's about this woman named Evelyn. She owns it's a lot of what we've seen in like culture, Asian culture, and like movies and stuff these days. Her family owns a laundromat, and it's just there's so much going on. Like she just has all these things that she's dealing with, and then there's things that are in the process of happening that she still doesn't even that she hasn't quite figured out are going to yet. As far as like with her husband and stuff. And then she's without spoiling anything. Like she like one of the big things she's been stressing out about is getting their taxes straight, about like holding on to the laundromat. And during this tax appointment is when she finds out about a multiverse. And this person tells her, I'm not gonna spoil who it is, that like, oh, like our Evelyn is dead. You're the one we've been looking for. And the way this multiverse works is that you can do this thing that's called verse jump. And so you basically you can tap into the mind of any version of yourself across the multiverse. And she can do things like, I mean, I guess I don't know. I'm trying not to like spoil much. So let's say there's like somebody like, so I mean, in the trailers they do show like it's an action comedy. So they kind of teach her how to verse jump, and in this one life she sees that she knows kung fu, and so she fights in like, she learns how to fight like that. But the thing that they tell her is like, oh, like we need you because this being is looking for you, and they're destroying all the world, all the universes in the process. And it gets progressively weirder from there. There's a universe where they have sausage fingers. There's a universe where everybody does something everybody is good with their feet. Like they do stuff with their feet, and it's just like
it gets real Rick and Morty.
Yes. That's the only. That's not a bad description, actually.
Okay.
It just
cool.
It gets bonkers. It is. It's rated R. So I will say that it's a very hard R. It's an A24 movie. But it's really good. Like it's one of those things where at some point it just goes completely off the rails. But by the time it starts to end, it kind of starts to close in and kind of get back to where, oh, like we can focus again, kind of thing. Like, so it just explodes and then kind of reseals itself by the end. And it's got a really good message that I was like, ooh, like it's really heavy, but it may be one of the best movies this year.
Cool.
I don't know. It's hard to say like whether I don't know if it's one of my favorite movies ever, just because it's so weird. But I honestly think there will not be a movie that will top it in my top 10 this year. Like it's one of the craziest and most wild things I've watched, but it was so good. Like it feels weird to say it because it's one of the weirdest movies I've ever watched, but it's amazing.
Cool.
So yeah, that's the only way I can really describe it. It's
craziness.
And I feel like. Yeah, there's a lot I had to hold back on because it's just like I want people to see it for themselves. And it's in theaters because it was in limited theaters for a while. And so then it came to more recently, and I said, I have to go see this before it leaves theaters because I've heard so much about it. And on a Saturday night at about 9:30, I was the only one in the room like watching this movie in my little theater in my town, and it was a really fun experience.
Cool.
So,
we'll get into the movie news then. I think the biggest news we can start off with is Thor. You got a trailer. 2 months? Is it
July?
Yeah, maybe about 3 months. A little under 3 months until we get that movie, and we finally got a trailer for it. I thought we were gonna wait for Doctor Strange. I really did.
Last week I saw a news piece that it said a Thor trailer coming out would already be like the shortest gap in between a Marvel trailer and its movie releasing.
It's already, they've already hit that milestone.
Yeah.
The first one, I guess, being Hulk, which I didn't realize. I think that's really weird.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I figured it would be Spider-Man.
Oh,
which took forever on its own.
People were waiting for a trailer for that forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But loving it so far. We don't know anything really. I don't not even the tone necessarily. Like, it doesn't feel like Ragnarok for sure.
Mm-hmm. I like that we don't know much of anything. I really do.
Yeah, I did see something that was really cool. There's it's a specific behemoth, but it's a behemoth is a giant creature, a snow creature. You can watch the trailer and you'll know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And I saw that side by side by the comic that it's inspired by, and it's almost exactly the same. The only difference is that Korg is standing with Thor on the rock. But other than that, everything is like perfectly translated.
That's awesome.
So the theory is that behemoth is a god. So the god killer, who is played by Christian Bale, has probably killed him. And
who we have not seen.
Yeah, didn't get to see him at all. Yep. Got a little bit of Russell Crowe's Zeus.
Oh yeah,
which was kind of cool. Only from the back, you don't see his face. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this movie yet. I'm excited for it. Natalie Portman's Thor looks awesome.
Yeah,
she's definitely been working hard. I've heard about like just all of the work that she's had to put into to make herself get that superhero shape.
I still wonder how hard they're gonna go on her backstory. Like, I don't wonder if they're gonna do the whole cancer thing and stuff like that.
That would be really crazy. Just 'cause
it would be weird.
It's so comical right now, like the universe in general, the MCU.
I mean, even Thor, the Thor setting itself was peak. Like, action comedy.
It's so goofy. Yeah. So to go into that cancer storyline would be really crazy.
I don't think, for something tells me, I don't think they will, because I feel like that's too, I don't know. It would feel so random compared to everything else that's going on in the MCU. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know, maybe she could get blipped.
Read a thing that the theory is that she will go through all of that, and it will be why she can kind of beat Gore, I think his name is, right? Gorr. Christian Bale's character, is because she won't actually be a god. She'll just have the powers, and those powers will inevitably kill her. I don't know if they'll go with cancer part of that. But Gore can't kill her because she's not a god, kind of thing.
That'd be cool.
Was a theory, but I don't know. We'll see. Them just killing her because the powers are too much would make more sense than giving her the full cancer storyline.
Yes. That'd be interesting that it somehow causes that, or somehow weakens her to where it's like a form of cancer or something.
We'll see. I guess thinking about it though, Guardians of the Galaxy is in this movie, and Star-Lord's mom died of cancer.
Okay, interesting.
At the beginning of that movie, so
we'll
see. I don't know. It also, like, so far the trailer seems much more serious than Ragnarok did. And that might...
It's got its funny moments, but it's more like... It didn't, like, make me, like, burst into laughter. It's more like...
Yeah.
It was, like, an awkward funny. It's like...
Felt very, like, epic most of the time. And then just had these little, like, quips.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
When he's, like, looking into his face.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm very excited for him and Star-Lord. More of that, please.
Yep.
They both seem so similar.
Yeah.
Like, that'll be like, not me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm really I really thought we were going to wait till... I figured, like, Doctor Strange would come out, and then we would get the trailer at the end of the movie, like we did for Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. So we'll see. I don't know. Yep. I'm excited. We got another huge movie before that. That Doctor Strange is going to be insane, I think. Mm-hmm. Candy, I'm not even ready to think about Thor.
I know. Like, Doctor Strange is going to be even... Yeah. I feel like we got to get through Doctor Strange first before I can be excited for Thor.
Mm-hmm. I don't need trailers anymore. You give me a movie every month, like... Mm-hmm. I don't need trailers. Just tell me the movie's out.
Yeah, like... I do not need to see anything else about Thor: Love and Thunder. I didn't even need to see what we saw of Doctor Strange. Like, just don't show me much at all, and just let me be surprised.
Man, I saw it said final trailer for Doctor Strange, and it was from this YouTube channel that Google thinks that I need to see. called Screen Culture, and
Okay.
they make fan-made trailers.
Oh, that's right.
And so it was like a supercut of all the trailers put together, and it was done really, really well. But it was that Patrick Stewart voice. We need to tell him the truth. And then it was a shot from X-Men of his wheelchair rolling.
Uh-huh.
And like, if I wouldn't have known that was from X-Men, then I would have like really figured it out. But I was
duped.
I was like, wait a minute, what am I watching? And I was like, Screen Culture, and I was like, oh, okay.
These guys again.
I was like, whoa, this would be amazing.
Dang.
A tangent on that, there's rumors that he's not Professor X, and that would be crazy in itself.
I honestly believe those rumors more than what everybody wants.
Yeah. I think it would be cool to subvert expectation and make him a different character.
Mm-hmm.
Or just have both.
Ralph Boner us again. I'm for it.
Yeah.
Except
but
that
make
was
it
a bit
important.
disappointing. Yeah.
Like, that's my thing, is I don't care if it's not Professor X. Like, if you want to be something else, but just make him important.
Yeah, like Ralph Boner felt like a low blow. Like,
yeah.
Literally, yeah, that one felt like a low blow. Hopefully the Patrick Stewart thing is just like a okie doke. It's like, oh, he's actually this character. Like,
yeah.
So having that importance, I think, is still necessary.
Like, you think that he's Professor X, but then you find out that he's like a Skrull or something else from another universe. It's just like really like an old Tony Stark would be crazy. And
if he is somehow still Professor X, awesome. But if he's not, then I'm okay with that too.
Yeah. Whereas like Ralph Boner, it was just this like, oh, it's nobody.
I'm afraid of being hurt again.
Could have been somebody.
Yeah, like I'm afraid of getting hurt again, but also like, don't do me that bad.
like what the running joke became Mephisto.
Yep. Yes.
If he would have ended up being Mephisto, people would have been like, their minds would have been blown.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Or even actual like X-Men Pietro, like.
Yeah. We're getting on a tangent here.
All good.
Speaking of superhero movies, I'm gonna go backwards on these notes. Not that anyone can see them. Spawn. We got kind of an update. There was supposed to be a movie coming out from Todd McFarlane, and they've been trying to do that for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're saying now is the movie came out in 1992. Oh, a comic ran in 1992.
Yeah, I was like, no, that was
1997 was the
1997. Yep.
So this would have been a reboot. This wouldn't have been a sequel or anything. Yep. But Todd McFarlane's been trying to make a Spawn movie forever. I believe Warner Bros. Has the rights to it. Don't hold me to that. I can't remember.
I want to say it's New Line. Let me look.
Could be. But anyways, the news article was interesting to me because it said it was optimistic. They were optimistic about it happening soon and was getting news soon. But Todd McFarlane's words are, there's so much hype around Spider-Man and Venom right now that if we don't hear news in the next few months, we're probably never going to hear anything. Like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen soon. But that definitely doesn't sound to me like it's happening.
Yeah, something tells me whoever he's working with or whoever's distributing it probably saw Morbius and has been watching the pulse on the Venom movies recently. And has probably said, like, hey, man, like, let's kind of hit the brakes a bit, So I wonder if they're looking at those movies and reevaluating.
I've said this before, like, I love MCU movies and for what they are, and they're, like, just the epicness is so cool to see on screen. But I think it does the entire, like, action movie, superhero movie, like, world a disservice because you can't just have these localized storylines. They have to be these big epic things to be good. Like, you need different dimensions and all the Spider-Men to get together for the movie to be enjoyable.
And so that's what kind of sucks is like people are very much spoiled these days when it comes to like superhero stuff because it's like the thing I do appreciate about, even though they haven't been very good lately, is like the Sony movies feel like they're like out of a time capsule. It feels like, like if we had some of these during like the early 2000s or like any year before 2010, if we had any of these, I think people would enjoy them a lot more.
Like Venom alongside Amazing Spider-Man would be really cool.
Like, and because we have like the MCU and even DC, like DC's movies are even bigger than that too. So it's like we're very spoiled. So it's like I really appreciate. Like I remember the days where we kind of appreciated what we had. You know, like
yeah. And they're almost devaluing themselves. Like that Black Widow movie came out, and it was like, oh, the stakes aren't high enough in this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, it would have been great during the Civil War era, or even definitely during the Winter Soldier era.
Yeah.
But now the stakes are like, the entire universe has to be dying.
Yep.
Or it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And so I think a Spawn movie, or like Morbius, I think that was a big thing with Morbius, is the stakes weren't very high. I was like, what's he gonna do? Kill someone else? Like,
yeah, yep.
He wasn't gonna take over the entire world. Yeah.
And you're gonna laugh at this. They do the so you know how a lot of the superhero movies, especially even Marvel's guilty for this, but how they do the like thing where it's like, oh, they gotta fight a villain that's basically the same version as themselves.
Yes.
Morbius does that.
I love that. That still works for some reason.
yeah.
Because they've been doing that. I mean, literally since Hulk.
Yeah.
And like, well, it didn't work with Morbius, but you think of like Shang-Chi. Was basically the same thing. Eternals didn't do that, and Eternals didn't work.
Morbius's problems weren't necessarily its plot, because they actually had like the reason for it I thought was interesting, because it's basically like a childhood friend he's trying to help and stuff like that. And I think
his aspirations weren't high enough. He needed to go bigger.
Yeah.
How are you going to turn an alien into a vampire? You need to think big, bud. Mm-hmm. You're going to make Venom into a vampire. Now we're getting somewhere. You think of like Moon Knight. Moon Knight, we've talked a little bit about it on the show.
Yep.
But Moon Knight's, I don't want to give anything away. Its premise is, earth-shattering. If things were to go wrong, then, it's catastrophic for the entire world. Possibly the universe. We don't know yet just how big they are, but...
I'll say this about Spawn, and then we can move on. I would like to see it more like the Batman. Now streaming on HBO Max, actually, but I would like to see it more go for like a noir,
very stylistic.
That'd be very cool. Yeah, it would have to be very stylistic, like the Batman. I think it should take notes from that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking just Venom, but
yeah, I think it has to have more style than that, because like the old HBO Spawn animated show, like there was half the time you barely saw Spawn, like when he wasn't like doing much. Like he'd be in the shadows all the time and talking to people that way, and like being fearful, like the Batman, like making people fearful and stuff like that. So cool. I think that's what they need to do.
You just get some horror director to do it. And
yes,
make it a horror movie.
Yes, that'd be amazing. Actually,
I mean, loved that about Batman is that it was almost scary. The last thing we'll talk about is Fantastic Beasts 3, Secrets of Dumbledore. It isn't really much of a secret that the movie's not doing super well. Mm-hmm. It is the worst Harry Potter movie, box office-wise, ever.
Yeah.
But I found this funny. It is beating Sonic 2, and it is the number one movie in the box office right now, even though it's failing. So
yeah, that's almost
numbers are weird.
That's almost like somebody saying like, oh, Fortnite, less people are playing Fortnite, but also Fortnite's still like the number one streamed game on Twitch or something like that. Like, it's like, oh, like it's still like its numbers are down, but it's still easily one of the biggest things like franchise wise. So like, it doesn't.
I don't know how Walking Dead is doing now, but there was a little while where they were like, the numbers are just dying in The Walking Dead.
Yes.
And it was like, it's still one of the most watched TV shows on cable.
That's probably a better comparison, but yes, that's exactly like, yeah.
They were like, Walking Dead's fame is over.
And it doesn't surprise me, because it's like Sonic's a kid's movie, but you have a lot of, I don't know what the fandom is called, but I'm going to say Potterheads.
Pottermore.
Yeah, so, yeah. But yeah, so it doesn't surprise me that there is a massive fan base of Harry Potter fans out there that are still that we're probably still excited to see it.
Yeah, I'll see it eventually. My wife really wants to go to the theaters and see it. I was just gonna kind of wait till it came on to HBO Max.
That's probably what I'm gonna do.
Just so weird, because the people that are listening, some of you guys know this. I was huge into Harry Potter. Like, I own all of the books. I own the Philosopher's Stone instead of the Sorcerer's Stone. I own both.
That's awesome.
I have Fantastic Beasts, the book, and I think that's what bugged me so much is that book is tiny.
Yeah. That's been a running joke on our podcast. Yep.
Yeah. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, but I'm just not... The last movie was really boring to me. Yeah. And I don't know. I think it's lost its magic for
I really like
the sake of the pun.
I liked the first Fantastic Beasts so much that I have it on Blu-ray, and then I heard the second one was garbage, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not going to watch it. But if I got to suffer through that to get to this one, I probably will, because I heard Mads Mikkelsen is really good in this. So I'm like...
He's good at everything.
Yeah. So it's like, that's it. I'm like, I'll watch it just for Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, the cast alone makes you go, okay.
Yeah, because like, I was like Johnny Depp, because I actually didn't mind Colin Farrell in the first movie too. So I was like, yeah, I don't know, but it sounds like that movie had a lot of problems though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It's all kind of. I'll watch it eventually. I like Harry Potter, so.
I think 45 days, just like the Batman, it'll be on HBO Max. So.
I think I could wait that long. I don't know if she could though.
Yeah.
We'll get into TV. There's not much to say on Moon Knight. Just it's getting better and better, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting. I feel like this was a very much mid-season kind of thing, like for third episode. Like now, I'm kind of just waiting. Like, I have no idea where this show is going to go now.
Yeah,
and we only have 3 more episodes. So from here, it could either go. It could keep getting better, or to me, it could go a completely different way now.
It has kind of. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I did Boba Fett, but it feels like Boba Fett in the way that like nothing's happening really yet.
True, yeah, I can see
that. It feels like it's just continuing to set up, and I'm like, okay, time to go.
It's like they're trying to set up the character without having to do like an origin story.
Yeah, like we still haven't gotten a full picture of Mark yet.
And there's still, it sounds like there's still a personality that he and Steven don't know about yet. So
yeah.
That's
I was trying to tread that real carefully. I was like, not the full picture of who he is yet.
Yeah. That's people discussing. So it's like, there's definitely hints there that there's something else going on. So.
Yeah. I read some theory, I didn't read too far into it because I didn't want spoilers, that it's not who people think it is. So that's really interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. What I'm expecting is that we'll probably get one more episode that feels kind of setup-esque. And the last 2 episodes will be kind of the finale and will be real big and finish everything up.
That's very Marvel. That's kind of the way typical. Marvel and Disney Plus have been operating. Is like it's kind of this build up to, like you were saying, like a 1 or 2 episode finale, which is kind of weird. And
those 2 episodes will feel like a movie. So I'm assuming that's what's going to happen. I would like things to just like get crazy soon. We built up for 3 episodes. Now let's come back down off. Like let's go down the roller coaster for 3 episodes and just get crazy. We'll see. I will say I was really hoping for a Hulk cameo, and I'm thinking at this point, kind of null and void. Probably not going to happen. Doesn't really need to happen at this point.
We already know that's going to happen in She-Hulk, so yeah.
There were these rumors, but I think we're past that point in the show where that could be a possibility.
Yeah.
It doesn't need cameos, though. I would say if you're a Marvel fan, even if you're not a Marvel fan, this show is great. If you're a Marvel fan or you're a Batman fan, watch this show. I
love how it's straight up, so far, almost completely disconnected from everything else.
The one thing, theories here, can I... Man, for those who don't know, talking about on a podcast, we kind of just shoot from the hip. Like, none of this is rehearsed. And so we have to sit there in real time and go, is this a spoiler or not? Can I say this?
That was like me talking about that movie a minute ago. I'm like, okay, not touching that. Not touching that. I can go here, but I can't go there. Like, go for it.
So in Spider-Man No Way Home, I'm thinking in the trailers too, when they're doing universal stuff, there is a purple glow. And so in this show, when certain things are happening, there is also a purple glow. And the running theory is that the gods which that's common knowledge from the trailers. The gods are from another universe, which is kind of crazy.
I could see that, because kind of like how the gods in Thor are kind of extraterrestrial.
Or aliens, yeah.
Yeah.
Got to figure that out, where Zeus is not a Norse god, he's a Greek god, and he's in that trailer.
There's definitely a Greek pantheon in the Marvel Comics. Like, there's even Hercules and stuff, so it's like,
yeah.
It makes you wonder how far they're going to get into the pantheons in the MCU.
Yeah, I wonder if they're all going to be aliens, or if they'll, like... I don't know the comics. I'm sure the comics explain all of that, but...
It's going to be very different.
Yeah, I feel like they need to explain each god pantheon away somehow. One's an alien, one's from a different dimension, one's from... I don't know.
Then you got the Celestials and all that other craziness. Like,
yeah,
they're really getting very out there with all that lately. So who knows?
And then you have just like Hawkeye.
Yep.
Fighting in New York. So weird. All right, we can move on. The other thing that I've been watching is Halo. I'm only on the second episode now.
I'm hesitant to... Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. I haven't really... I watched the episode and I was like, man, nothing in this show is like really catching me yet.
Yeah, so like I haven't even watched the second episode yet, and it's been... I think we're on
episode 3. Or 4.
Yeah.
We're on episode 4.
Yeah, so I'm just like, man, like, for me to be... For me to like be that many weeks in and only watch the first episode, I think I'm good. Like, I don't really think I need to watch it.
I'll continue to watch it. I think it'll get better.
People feel very mixed about it.
I think what it's failing on right now is that it's not leaning into the sci-fi, and so it doesn't. I think it's completely, even though they said they weren't going to do this, it's leaning so far into the video game nostalgia and like hype that they felt like they didn't need to really do much with the story. The story's interesting, but the writing is just not zany enough for a sci-fi. And for someone like me who's never played the games, I need more than like super accurate suit.
Yeah, so that's weird you say that, because like the games are that, like the lore is in Halo is really fascinating. Like it really is, but for you to say that is just like, like interesting, because they've gone very hard to say, oh, this is different, this is. But I think what you're saying is they're probably trying to go for the look and the style of like the suit, the weapons, this and that. It's like, seems like they really wanted people to feel more nostalgic about the props than actually what's going on.
Exactly. Like there's literally like stills, and it's like, okay, that must be from the game, because it's like a pose. It almost feels like they're trying to get from one pose to the next.
Yeah.
Name drops, even though it's taking place in this alternate timeline, and I don't know the stories and the lore of the games. But like Cortana, they say Cortana's name over and over, or make a big deal about Cortana.
Yeah.
So even if you don't know what Cortana is, there's like, got to make this big thing. And so I would like to see them do more of a, what's that show called on Amazon? I really liked it for a while. The
Expanse?
The Expanse. Yeah. I would like to see them kind of like lean into this like realistic, but super zany sci-fi.
I only watched a few episodes of that, but I really want to go back to that, because I really liked the setting and like what they're doing with it.
Yeah, I mean that's what the show feels like to me. It just feels like it's taking itself too seriously. I think it could be this kind of like almost grounded sci-fi, where you're going to different planets, and different planets feel very different and not human yet. Yeah, I don't know. Also, the aliens in this, I can't remember what they're called, but the elders of the aliens feel like Star Wars characters.
The prophets?
That's really weird to me. Yeah. They look like they're straight out of like the prequel series.
Yeah. Those were in the games. One of my favorite things in the game is like you literally hop on one of those pods and just boom, 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 and just beat down one of the prophets. That's like my favorite part in like Halo 2.
It's awesome. Well, maybe that'll happen. I'm sure.
Oh man, I would watch it just for that. It was just like one of my favorite things is hopping onto that pod, and oh yeah.
Like, I read a thing today, I guess episode
fantasy.
4. There's literally the scene, it's in Halo Infinite, where he's holding his helmet down. It's, like, on the title screen or something.
Wow.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, where they, like, show, like, just his helmet.
His helmet by his leg. Like, I guess that is in the show.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay. So your storyline's different, but you're gonna just really lean into this. And it has to do more. Yeah, it's got to do more than what it's doing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll move on after this. One thing it's doing right is he saves this kid, and he brings this kid somewhere. Hopefully that doesn't give too much away. But I was like, don't. She was like, oh, you can't leave me. And I was like, no, leave her, please. I do not need a Mandalorian. Yeah. I was like, please do not let this be you watching after a kid the entire time. Yeah, And he did. And I was like, good. Hopefully that's not too important to people. But I was like, do not just...
They made it seem in the first episode that was going to be a big plot point.
Yeah. I'm really happy that they didn't, because...
Good, because then it would have been like, we've watched this before.
Yeah, I've seen this movie, and it was better. Did you see any other TV shows?
No, I mean, I've gotten back into Clone Wars. Not much to report there. Other than, like, I've gotten through some of the big Darth Maul stuff, which has been really awesome. But yeah, still watching that off and on. So that's about it.
Cool. We'll get into the TV news then. Speaking of trailers, we've got Stranger Things. They're getting so old.
They are.
It's so crazy to me.
It's like watching the Harry Potter kids grow up.
Yeah, a lot, very much so. The show, they keep talking about how much more epic this season's going to be, and I'm hopeful, but the trailer doesn't seem that much more cinematic than the previous seasons, but I love the previous season, so that's okay. I'm really, really excited for it. It looks great. It just doesn't look that far removed from the other seasons I think you talked about.
Yeah, like, it feels like the monologue that's happening in that trailer is supposed to make us feel like the stakes are higher, but I almost feel like they aren't. It's just like, oh, there's a new villain thing now, which looks awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
But that's kind of it. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, so...
Like, apparently
what does that mean?
It extends to Russia, but then they're talking, they're like, they still have to go back to Hawkins.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so it's still about the same town, you know? So, I don't know. We'll see. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Just an observation. I'm excited for this show, regardless. One of the best things on television, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then a thing I didn't know that was happening is definitely happening. Constantine has been rebooted by J.J. Abrams for HBO Max. And I still can't figure out if Matt Ryan is reprising his role, but I believe he is.
They've wanted him to. Everybody has wanted him to for a very long time.
And my assumption is that he does want to as well.
Yeah.
Since he does it for everything. I think he was even in a video game.
Probably. I don't remember.
I can't remember. I feel like I've heard that. He was in the animated stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
He was in the NBC show Constantine, and then reprised his role in Arrow and a bunch of other stuff afterwards.
I think he was even in Legends of Tomorrow for quite a bit, too.
Yeah. Yep. So J.J. Abrams is partnered with HBO Max for a variety of Justice League Dark titles. I read that verbatim from Screen Rant here. Better. Like, that's a lot of words. I better source them.
Yeah.
And the first one being Constantine. And it's like they've got casting figured out. I think it's the cast list. It's not the casting. So they've got like the characters. They're doing the casting call for it right now. And then they're planning to production by this fall. So it'll start this fall and then conclude filming in February 2023. So
that's awesome.
Pretty crazy.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I didn't really like Constantine as an NBC show, but I think the platform will give it a lot more room to play.
Yes.
I think of speaking of Stranger Things, you can have a little bit more mature and a little bit more higher budgeted content on HBO Max than you could like an NBC. So,
yeah.
Plus, the idea of a Justice League Dark universe on HBO Max seems pretty cool. I'm down for that. I don't know if I need any more universes. I
still kind of wonder what Guillermo del Toro's Dark would have looked like. That would have been crazy.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, why don't we just do movies?
Yeah.
Like, we don't need build-ups anymore. If you would have just given me a Justice League Dark movie, I probably would have been like, all right, this sounds cool. Put Constantine and a bunch of other characters that I have no idea who they are and make a Guardians of the Galaxy situation.
Yeah.
Where I just like them, even though I don't know anything about them. Yeah, we can move on. It's a cool thing that's happening. And
that's exciting.
Soon. Yeah. I bet we get that by November 2023. Maybe even sooner. That sounds right. Constantine, it'll be out in October.
Yeah, Halloween. Perfect time. Yep.
Halloween 2023. That makes sense. That gives them about 6 months after February
calling it now.
March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Gives them 8 months for edit. Yeah.
All right. Your predictions locked in.
Yep. October 2023.
October of next year. Yep. Calling it right here on the podcast.
Yep. Love doing that. I love being right. It doesn't happen every time, but
watch that prediction come true.
Oh, it's gotta.
It's got.
It almost feels like cheating.
It's too obvious.
Yeah. I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But that's all that I'm geeking out about. Is that all that you're geeking out about this week?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, we will end the podcast there. I'm excited for you guys to do a podcast next week. I will be out of town for a little bit, but I'll be back the week after. Cool. So yeah, where can they find you at, LJ?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and everywhere on the internet as LJ the Paladin. And I'm starting to stream Transformers War for Cybertron this Friday on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Geeks Under Grace.
Cool. And you can find me on Instagram at Cody Armour. Keep gaming, keep praying, and God bless.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. We love hearing from you, so feel free to ask us questions or just comment on the show by using the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter or by joining the GUGcast questions channel in the Geeks Under Grace Discord. If you like this episode, consider leaving a review or rating of our show on your favorite podcast app. If you want even more Geeks Under Grace, you can always go to geeksundergrace.com. We love you all so much, so thank you for listening.